I just spent the last 25 minutes recording, and it's something, I just got this gut feeling. I was like, am I recording? Because the camera says recording, and I look at my computer, and sure enough, I'm not recording audio. So now I have to redo the entire episode. So fun. Got the rehearsal out of the way. Let's do this for real. Oh my god. A lot of us struggle with procrastination. We are ambitious and we want to do all these things and we have all these visions and goals and dreams. And then we get frustrated and overwhelmed because we don't know where to start and we don't have the money and we don't have the time and I don't know what to do. Today I want to talk about some things that could help you in your life and how to get started and how to tackle procrastination. As organized and on top of things as I can be personally, I still struggle with these things. So I want to share some things that have helped me along the way, and hopefully they're helpful for you. The biggest thing that I will emphasize when it comes to this is starting small. So many of us, like I said, have these big dreams and visions and goals, and we think about the result, the end goal. Where is it that we want to be? And it's like, I don't know how to get there. Like it's just a straight line to get there. There's so much that comes in between, and starting, like they always say, that's the hardest part, is getting started. And we don't know where to start. What am I supposed to do? The first thing I would take a look at is your to-do list or whatever it is that you want, all these things that you want to get done, whether it's just day-to-day tasks or long-term goals that you're trying to achieve. Really take a look at everything and ask yourself, is this important for my own journey, for my own goals? Because a lot of the time we're just doing things because we think they're important, because our parents said that that's what we're supposed to do, or our friends are doing it, or we see people online, or our boss. But these things aren't related to you. It has nothing to do with you, actually, and what you're trying to do. What is it that you're trying to do? Because being productive has to be in alignment with what it is that you want to achieve. You can talk about work and having things that you need to complete for, if you work for somebody, you have a boss, but that's work. That's separated and separate from what you are trying to do. So really take a look at that and really break down all these things, because I find so many people say things like, oh yeah, I gotta do that, or I have to do this, or I should check this out, I should do this. Start becoming intentional with your words. Start becoming intentional with what it is that you want. And yes, there's always a risk that we're gonna offend somebody, but you really can't live a life without risking offending people. Like, no matter what you're trying to do, someone's going to get offended by you. Someone's not going to like you. They're not going to like what you do. They're not going to like that you're going for it, or that you're opening that little cupcake shop that you've always wanted to own, and that you're whatever it is that you're trying to do, somebody won't like it. And it doesn't matter, because they're just a loser. I'm sorry, but that makes you a loser. If you're going to hate on somebody for doing what they want to do, they're a loser. And to compare yourself to that, is that really what you want to do? So set that aside and really refocus your thinking and your to-do list, whether it's physical, on paper, on your phone, in your head. Take a look at it and say, what is it that really needs to get done? What is it that I really want to do? I think so many of us use excuses because we're busy, we don't have the time, or we don't have the money. Those are like the common ones, right? And I want to talk about that in a little bit. But before I go into that, I want to say that sometimes you just need to cut yourself some slack, because there are some things that you're not giving excuses for. There are actually reasons. That's another one. Learn to distinguish a reason from an excuse. They're not the same thing. Like I say, if you're not training for a marathon because you broke your leg, that's a great excuse. Sorry, that's not an excuse. That's a great reason. That's a great reason. If you're not running for the marathon because, like your shoes, the color of your shoes are just, they're ugly and I don't like them. Yeah, that's an excuse. So broken leg, good reason. Ugly shoes, bad excuse. There's an eyelash that's sitting right in front. Do you ever get an eyelash that's like sitting right in front of your eyeball? It's like right in your vision. It's like, ugh. So really get real with yourself and be honest. So many of us are lying to ourselves, which is something I also will get into a little bit later. For example, if you are a parent and life has recently changed for you and you have little ones running around, you're trying to keep them alive, that's really hard. That's really demanding. So stop beating yourself up if things aren't as clean as they used to be, or you're struggling to stay on top of laundry, this and that, because you're comparing yourself to parents online or someone who seems like they have it all together. First of all, just stop comparing to anybody, because everybody's going through their own problems and everybody prioritizes things differently. Oh my God, my eyes still, I don't know. So I never wear mascara, and when I put it on, I just feel like my eyes get all, and just start, or the lashes start sticking together. I want to invent, if this doesn't exist, this is what I want to create. I want to create a mascara that just adds color to your lashes. I don't like all the clumpiness and the just the thickness. I don't need it. I just want the color. I just want to paint them black. And I've had them done before, the tinting, like professionally, but I don't know. I guess you could do that. I guess tinting would be the option. But if there's like a product that you can just add, if you know, please let me know. I would love to buy that, or just, like I said, maybe I just have to invent it because I don't like mascara. It's too clumpy. Now I have to sneeze. Jeez. Bless you, Nikki. No one else said it. Okay. I'm a little all over the place today, considering that I just recorded this whole episode right before this without hitting record on my mic. I have recently dealt with mold exposure in my apartment, and it's made me quite sick. I was in the hospital. My lung was shot, and I still have some respiratory issues from it. It's gotten so much better. As soon as I found the mold, got rid of it, it's much better. Not fun if you've ever dealt with that. Like my brain fog. I just feel like I have some point felt like somebody was like sitting on my head, and I'm just struggling to think. So I think that's why I'm doing all these little things weird that I normally don't do, make mistakes and not thinking straight. I'm trying to write a text message and I read it doesn't make any sense. So bear with me, but also that adds to the point that I'm making here. Stop being so hard on yourself. For me, I need to not be so hard on myself. That's not my fault that this has happened to me. So I need to be patient with myself and understand that things are outside of our control. And sometimes life happens, things happen, and we don't control it all. We had a great intention, and when we wanted to get something done and how we want to get something done, and we want to stay on top of things, and it doesn't always go that way. And it's okay. Relax. It's okay. So don't beat yourself up too much for things that aren't your fault, that you can't control. And if you're a parent, or you've gone through some recent life change, or, you've lost somebody maybe, or you've gone through a breakup, those are all good times to just take care of ourselves and be a little bit more patient and understand that it's going to take time. And sometimes we have to put important things on hold to tend to vital things. So learning to prioritize the difference, because sometimes that's what we have to do. And productive procrastination is okay. In fact, it's good. It's important. We have to, we can't just do it all. And a lot of us have that mentality. All or nothing, right? I got to do it all or do nothing. But then I keep going back to start simple, start small, refocus the little simple habits, or create them, I should say. If you have all these habits that aren't serving you, then take a look at those and figure out which one is the most important, that one that's going to create the biggest amount of change in your life. and focus your attention on that. Focus on one thing at a time, and then you can tackle more and more habits as you go along. And understand that once you've tackled a habit, it might come back and bite you a few months down the road. It can happen, especially if you've had a habit for many, many, many years. We can rebound. That's kind of our flaws as humans. So be patient with yourself and understand that what you see online and people who go through these transformations and they lose a lot of weight or they make a lot of money, whatever it is, something big drastic happens and they show it off and look how I've changed. They rebound too. People go through. I think they say a lot of the contestants on Biggest Loser, they tend to gain a lot of weight back after, and so don't compare yourself to all the stuff that you see online. Okay, I'm back after a little quick battery change. What were we talking about? Starting small, being patient with yourself. We'll do a quick little review. Be patient with yourself when there are things that are outside of your control. Not everything is our fault. And learn to distinguish excuses from reasons. And I'm kind of struggling right now because I recorded this already. So I'm like, did I say this in the first recording? Or did I say this? I'm sorry if I repeat myself. Please bear with me. My brain is just, I'm not all here. I wrote down a note that I want to share. And this is really what inspired me to do this specific episode. We lie to ourselves a lot. And some of us lie to ourselves so much that we actually start believing our own lies, which is not very productive at all. It's not going to get us to our goals. It's definitely not going to get us to our goals. If you know that you're not going to go to the gym in the morning, if you say, okay, no, I'm going to get up really early before this thing that I have. If you know you're not going to do that, then don't tell yourself you're going to do it. Can you reprioritize it in a different point of your day? Can you say, okay, maybe I can go in the afternoon when I get back from that thing, that appointment? Start being really honest with yourself. And if it comes down to that's the only time I have to push myself to do in the morning, then make it as easy as possible. Lay out your clothes ahead of time. If that's part of the struggle is choosing an outfit, lay it out the night before and do a quick workout. Just tell yourself, I'm just going to do these 2 exercises, or I'm just going to go to the gym. I'm just going to go there. If that's what you do for exercise, I'm just going to go there. Because I don't think I've ever in my life gone to the gym and not worked out. Even on days that I don't feel super motivated to go. Once I'm there, it's like, well, I might as well get on a treadmill, or I might as well, go lift some weights. I'm here. I don't have to do a full workout, but at least I went. At least I did something. And then the next time it'll get easier and easier as you go along. It's always hard to start, especially if you don't have that routine already. It's really hard. But yeah, that's my advice here. Stop lying to yourself. If you know you're not going to do something, don't tell yourself you're going to do it. Because what happens is if you keep lying to yourself and you say, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow morning, and you don't go, you don't trust yourself. How can you build trust with yourself and hold yourself accountable when you don't do the things you say you're going to do? That's kind of useless. So say something that you know for a fact you're going to do. I'm going to get up tomorrow. I'm going to put my workout clothes on. I'm going to do 5 jumping jacks. Seriously, something so easy that even on your worst day, you're going to be able to do. I'm going to do 5 jumping jacks, and I'm going to do 2 push-ups. Now you cannot not do that, right? That's so easy. Or make it even easier. Just put your workout clothes on. That's it. That's your only goal. Just put your workout clothes in. And then when you did it, you're like, yeah, I tackled that goal that I set for myself. Is it ridiculous? Yeah, it kind of is. But what's even more ridiculous is not reaching any of your goals. Is not getting anywhere in life, is staying in the same place as you are now. That's even more ridiculous. So if you have to make it really easy on yourself, make it easy on yourself. Why make it complicated? Why make it hard? I know we're so influenced by all these people. Andrew Tate comes in and says, go to gym every day, stop being lazy, this and that. We hear all these super macho podcasters talk about all this, right? They're just like, yeah, just do it. It's like, okay, but reality is different. It's easy to sit there and say that stuff, and it's easy to watch a reel or a TikTok and you hear that and you're motivated by it, but that goes away. That doesn't last. Matter of fact, it probably goes away by the time you swipe away from it. Make it so easy on yourself that you have to do it, that you just cannot not succeed. Because when you start building that trust with yourself, it will allow you to do the things that you really want to do and get to where you really want to be. Because if you set that easy goal, I'm just going to go wake up tomorrow, put my workout clothes on and do a little 5-minute stretch. You know that's easy. You can do that. And then you do it again tomorrow. Maybe you add a little bit more on every day. Maybe you do a baby steps approach. You got to do what works for you. I can't tell you what to do. You kind of have to finesse it and figure out what works for you. Because it's useless if I tell you what I do for me and you're like, well, that doesn't work for me. So, take advice with a grain of salt, and maybe you listen to a few different people and you say, okay, well, that works. I like how they do that approach or that technique, but that other stuff doesn't work for me. Pick and choose. It's okay to cherry pick the best advice and structure for yourself, and build that trust with yourself. Because when you build that trust, you're going to follow through with all the things you say you're going to do, because you know that you're someone worth trusting, because you do the things you say you're going to do. But if you're currently someone who keeps saying things, oh, yeah, I got to do this, or yeah, I got to read that book, or yeah, I'm going to go here. You use all this language that's not intentional, that you don't really mean. Yeah, trust me, you're not going to trust you. So even if you're going to risk offending people in that process, so what? You can't make everybody happy. People are going to get offended no matter what you do. So you might as well do what works for you. And stop saying you're going to do things you're not going to do. Stop saying I will when you don't mean it. Stop saying, oh yeah, I got to do that when you're not going to do that. Become intentional. Watch your own words. Even the ones you say in your own head, they count. So if you tell yourself, yeah, I'm going to do this tomorrow, and then stop yourself. No, I'm not going to do that tomorrow. I know I'm not going to go to the gym tomorrow. But what I am going to do is I'm going to get up and I'm going to put my sneakers on, my trainers, my there's so many names for running shoes. Your whatever you call them. I'm just going to put them on. I'm going to tie my shoes, and I'm going to just go and stand on my balcony or on my porch, and I'm just going to do a 2-minute workout. Make it so that you cannot fail. Make it super easy. Something over nothing, anytime. Because the goal isn't really the tomorrow goal, right? Like all these little things that we're doing. That's why a lot of us give up, because we're like, well, what does it matter? I go to the gym. Abs are overrated, or the whatever excuse we give ourselves. It's like, okay, well, that's not the point. The point isn't that you're going to have the result tomorrow. Like if you give up on trying to pay off your debt, or you give up on trying to fix your finances, and you're like, what does it matter? It's just $20. This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does matter. But it's over such a long span of time that you kind of have to keep reminding yourself of that. It's not about tomorrow. It's not going to be different tomorrow. If I go to the gym and I'm trying to lose 100 pounds, I'm not going to be skinny tomorrow or be at my goal weight tomorrow. But it's one step towards that goal. So making it easy on yourself is important, because you have to keep doing it every day. You have to find that structure that's going to work for you, that you're actually going to stick with. Because the thing is, a lot of people will buy all these weight loss remedies and shakes, and they'll spend all this money on all this stuff, and then they don't do it. So then what's the point? Same with supplements. People have a whole cabinet full of supplements, because you read that this is good for that and this is good for that. It's like, yeah, I'm sure it's great for that. But if you're not going to take it, what's the point? If you're not going to do the exercise, what's the point of having the gym membership? Or what's the point of paying for the online workout? Whatever it is, what's the point of having it if you're not going to actually do it or use it? So reward yourself as you go along. Like if you are motivated, like for me, I'm motivated by workout gear. When I have one of my books just fell. When I have new workout clothes, I get so excited about that. Ooh, I get to wear a cute new outfit. These books keep falling over. that excites me, but that's not day one. That's not something you treat yourself to on day one. That's day 30 maybe. After a month, if I do a whole month of workouts, I'm going to buy myself a new outfit or a new pair of shoes. You don't have to have it all to get started. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. I want to touch on another thing that we like to use as an excuse. Like I said, take a look at your excuses versus your reasons. They're different. Excuses, however, are really just ways that we enable ourselves to not do what we want to do. That's an excuse, right? And a big one people use is money, because in this economy that we're living in, trying to survive and pay all your bills, it's tough. It's tough to make it. And a lot of us were raised with mentalities that aren't really productive when it comes to financial success or just having financial literacy. And it's something that a lot of us have to relearn. I say us because myself included. And this is not to throw shade. We love our folks who brought us up. You know, you can love them and respect them and still say that, you know, some of the things I don't agree with, or some of the things you might not have gotten right, because they did the best they could. You know, we have to remember that most people are just out here doing the best that they can and that they know how. That's why I think knowledge is power. The more knowledge we can acquire, learn how to do things better, acquire better skills, techniques to do things, but you do the best with what you have, right? That's why I said earlier, don't beat yourself up if you're doing the best you know you can right now, or you're in survival mode, or whatever you're doing. Don't beat yourself up about that. But I'm talking about excuses now. So excuses are different, and money is a common one, because we often say that, oh, well, I can't do this because I can't afford to. Something that I did for many years was books. I told myself that I couldn't read all these books that I wanted to read because I couldn't afford to, because I don't have the money to buy books. They're expensive. I mean, a book in itself is like $15, $20 at least. And I liked to read a lot. When I was growing up, I liked reading, you know, I read all the Harry Potter and A Series of Unfortunate Events. That was one of my favorites. And then I kind of moved on from fiction, and now I read mostly nonfiction books. And I had this whole list of all these nonfiction books that I wanted to read. And I was like, oh, well, I can't afford to. And then it kind of dawned on me one day. I'm like, why am I giving this excuse when there's a library with free books? I know it's probably different in every state and wherever you are in the world, but there's an ambulance outside. I hope they're okay. Anyone else, when they hear an ambulance, is like, oh, I hope they're okay. I grew up in a very small town of about 100 people. And if an ambulance drove by our house, we'd all go to the window like, oh, what's going on? I hope they're okay. When you live in a big city, it's like, there goes another one. It's just like, oh, you're just annoyed by it. But anyway, as I live in LA, and the library card that I got here was great, because they have an app that you can connect your library card to, and you can check out whatever books you need right there in the app. It's not Amazon Prime. They're not going to deliver to your door. You got to go. But, you know, for a free service, I'm like, this is pretty good. I can extend the time that I need the book. What's it called? The not the hold. When you have a book checked out and you want to keep it longer, you can extend it in the app. Really convenient. And then there went my excuse of I can't afford to read. I can't afford it. Because I've heard people say that to me too. Since I changed my mindset on that, people would tell me, oh, well, yeah, I don't really want to spend money on books right now. I don't have the money. Like, you don't have to have the money. And it's actually a really economical system that I've created, because now I only check out whatever books. I don't even have to worry about if I'm going to like it. Because if I don't end up liking it and I don't finish reading it, just return it. And then I can keep note of all the books that I liked, and then I can buy the ones that I do eventually. So the point of me saying that is we have to find a different approach to our problems, and we have to come at it from a different angle. If money is the excuse, especially, or time, maybe we need better time management if we don't have time for the things that we want to do. But money is often a big excuse, and sometimes it is a reason. So again, you got to take a look. Is it a reason? Is it actually a reason? Is it actually just an excuse? Because so many things that we want to do really just require a different approach. If you look at all these successful people who Steve Jobs and Facebook guy Mark Zuckerberg. Why did I say sucker? Zuckerberg. I think that's how you say it. Now it just sounds weird. I said it too many times. They didn't start out with money. A lot of people didn't start off with money who become successful billionaires and done well for themselves. But they had an idea and they had a determination like no other, right? That's another component. You have to be really determined to succeed. So what is a different approach that you can have? And ask for help. I'm saying this to myself. This is actually really just me talking to me now, because I have been told that I have a pride problem. It's my deadly sin. I don't like to ask for help. I'm very independent. I like to do everything myself and take care of myself. But it's okay to ask for help. It's not a weakness. And we all need help. It's also silly that we become so individualistic because we're humans. We depend on each other. We need each other. So you can't do everything yourself. So what can you learn to delegate, or just ask someone for some help? Hey, I really want to do this thing, but I need some money. Or maybe you know somebody who has some money, or you know how to, you maybe just need a loan, or maybe you need just a boost. Because a lot of us just need to overcome the fear in our inability to ask for help. Just go overcome that one step of I just need to ask someone for help. Because as people, we like to help each other. Think about how good you feel when you've helped someone else out. It's a good feeling. It's not a good feeling to be exploited. It's not a good feeling to be used and abused when somebody like is always asking for help or always having you do things, taking advantage of you. That's not fun. But it's nice to help someone. It's a good feeling. Oh, maybe I helped them out, or I bought this person a meal and they're struggling with money, or I was able to clean this person's house. I was able to help them with whatever skill that you have. It's a good feeling. So don't be afraid to ask for that in return. We need that if we want to succeed and do well in life. There's a car alarm going off. Oh, the joys of recording in a city. I've caught myself at times giving myself an excuse, like, oh, I can't afford to do this right now, or I don't have the money to do this closet setup that I want to do, or this organizer, or I want to, like, at one point I had like, oh my gosh, there's so much honking going back in the background. Oh, I really hope you can't hear it the way I can hear it, because it's all I can hear. I wanted to have a system for my belts in my closet to hang them up. And then I was like, no, let me just take this old hanger that I had. It was like a pants hanger, you know, one of those straight ones. And I just hung them over that. Was it great? No. Was it like this fantastic, luxurious solution? No, but it worked and it was free. I had the hanger already. So sometimes we have to remember that our solutions are temporary too, especially if you're working towards having better finances, if you're working towards getting yourself out of the situation that you're currently in. If that's your goal, to get out of where you are, keep in mind that some of these solutions are temporary. Your circumstances are temporary. It's not forever. So we don't have to jump to the most luxurious thing first. Rich people buy their luxuries last. Poor people buy their luxuries first. So if you want to get out of that, you have to get out of that mindset of having the nicest stuff first. So what would people think? It doesn't matter. Who cares what people think? Why are you trying to impress a bunch of people? Impress you. Impress yourself. How do you want to impress yourself? What do you want to do? What are your goals? What is it that you're working towards? What are your dreams? What are you holding off on? Why aren't you getting started? Like, seriously, ask yourself, why am I not doing this? What can I do differently? How can I approach it differently? You don't know how? Google. We have these great, what are they called? I'm still getting into it, all this meta and AI and all this stuff. But that's a great tool. Like, you can ask these robots for help. What should I do? How do I do this? How do I get started on this thing? And I can't say the specific thing because I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're trying to do. But I'm just saying, in general, you have to change your mindset. It all starts in your head. You have to change what you're thinking, your thoughts, your approach. Obviously, it's not working. If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always got. I have a sign right in front of me that says, we cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. And that goes for everything. You have to change if you want change. It's that simple. So what can you do differently? How can you approach things differently? Who can you ask for help? What resources do you have at your disposal for what you're trying to do? And become more intentional with your words. What is it that I'm saying? If someone recommends a book to me or something, movie, whatever. Oh, yeah, I got to check that out. I should totally do that. Should you? You don't have to say that. You don't have to answer that. If you want to be polite, you can say, oh, thank you for the recommendation. That's okay to say that. You don't have to say that. I have to check this out. I have to do this. People recommend things often also based on what they like. They don't always recommend what they think you will like. So you don't have to. And you say, oh, well, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't really matter. But what's going on today? Oh my gosh. I don't know. There's so much honking, and this sounds like a fire alarm going off, kind of. Well, if I start going up in flames, let it be my dying words to you, to change your words and what you say. Because the reason it matters is because we become who we say we are. As you see the world is all these things, right? Like as you approach things, how you talk, what you say, that becomes who you are. That is your life, right? So if you're not intentional with the things, this is so irritating, this alarm. I don't know. I feel like at this point I shouldn't have done this today. I don't know. I've tried to record this episode once and there's so much noise going on. I have brain fog from my mold exposure in my apartment. I can't think straight. Oof. Here I am, still going. Look at me. I'm still persevering. I'm saying, I still gotta go. We still gotta get up and go and do what you gotta do. But become more intentional with your words. Say what you mean what you say, build trust with yourself, and notice it become a pattern. And that's why it matters. That's why it's important, because it's a pattern in your life. When you always say, yeah, I gotta do that. Yeah, I should totally check that out. Yeah. You just talk like that about everything. Oh yeah, I should totally go to the gym tomorrow. Oh yeah, I should totally do this tomorrow. I should do this. La 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 la. And that's your whole life. That's just how it becomes. So really start paying attention and catch yourself. And it's okay. Don't judge yourself if you say it. It's habit. It's okay. We have habits. Habits are habits. They're hard to break. So you say it and you're like, no, I said it. Okay. And then in your head you go, no, I didn't mean that. I didn't want to say that. It's okay. It's okay to take it back. It's okay to say something and be like, no. I'm not going to check that thing out. I'm not going to do that thing. I'm not going to say that. And then reword it. Do a little edit in your brain. Okay, I said I'm going to go to gym tomorrow. Okay, no. I'm just going to put my sneakers on. I'm just going to put my workout clothes on. Or I'm just going to go stand on my porch and stretch. Whatever it is, replace it with something that you know for a fact you will do and create that momentum. I hope that this was in any way helpful for you. You're able to gain something from today. As always, share your thoughts, systems that work for you. Maybe you have something, a little gem that's worked for you that you want to share with me. again, I apologize for all the distractions today, the noise, and my own it's really just me. I'm distracted. I've just been suffering. I was in the hospital and I was struggling with all this memory issues, and I just have felt it like hit me hard. I've never struggled to this extent. I think I'm already a little scatterbrained and ADHD, whatever you want to call it, but it's hit me on a different level where I'm just like finding myself have to really hyper focus on things, and it's hard. So if you're going through something similar, I feel you. I really do. My goodness. Stress is a killer too. Going through stress on top of things is not fun. So if you're going through a lot, be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, and best of luck to you.